everybody, I'm Laura Sheehan. This is Dr. Keith Sheehan. We're in Dr. Sheehan's waiting room at Sheehan Natural Health Improvement Center in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I wanted to ask you today, Dr. Sheehan, about chronic sinus and ear infections. Okay. What causes them and what can you do about it?
Okay. So you want to know what causes them?
I do.
Okay.
One question at a time, right?
No, it's okay. Basically, I'm going to give you a nutshell, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Okay. But basically, food intolerances, okay, that we actually figure out what they are by nutrition response testing. We don't use a blood test because the blood test is not as accurate as nutrition response testing.
Wait, so food intolerances can cause sinus infections?
Let me just finish.
Okay.
So there's food intolerances, sugar, okay, different type of immune system challenges, and then atlas subluxations, which is basically a chiropractic thing. If you fix those four things, like, I mean, I don't want to say 100% because nothing is 100%, but I mean, they almost always go away. I don't know if I have anybody that didn't get better, okay? What happens is if you don't digest food properly, if you've got food intolerances, first you've got to figure out what they are. So you've got to figure out what they are with nutrition response testing, and then you got to figure out which organ is not digesting properly. Once you do that, that'll get you digesting properly. Okay. If you wipe out the sugar causes the secretion of insulin, which suppresses your immune system. Okay, so you'll digest better, your immune system kicks in, and then your immune system will kick in. Sometimes you'll need extra help with different supplements, herbals, homeopathics, whatever, to fight off whatever immune system challenge you have and the drain that pus out of the ears and the sinuses, okay? And then a lot of times too, when there's a misalignment of the first vertebrae up in here, that'll actually misalign the eustachian tube, so you get chronic sinus infections.
So that was the atlas that you were talking about?
Yeah, the atlas.
So the atlas is basically the first spinal bone or vertebrae that the skull sits on, right? Mm-hmm. So that can go out of place?
Yeah, just like any other ones. I mean, everybody knows that they've thrown their back out or they threw something out in their neck. They can throw something out in their neck and their body can kind of accommodate to it, but it'll cause chronic problems, especially in kids. Okay, the reason why in kids is because right here, the first bone has a lot to do with the immune system, and their immune systems are under tremendous stress as children. And then, of course, what makes it worse is that we feed them sugar, which makes it even worse. That's the reason why it goes. That's why if you find the food intolerance, the organ that's associated with it, and you supplement for that, eliminate the sugar and refined carbohydrates, okay, and then you take care of whatever immune system challenge and you get them adjusted if needed, those things just go away. It's amazing. We do it all the time in our office, so.
What about infections? Did you say infections already?
Yeah, that's what I said with the immune challenges, really.
Immune challenges.
We don't like to call them infections because that's a medical word. An infection implies that basically something came from the outside, came in and infected us. However, we all know that you can have, like in our office, we can have, we have what, 8 people, 7 people, something like that. Yeah. We might have one person get sick, but not everybody gets sick. Why did they get sick? Because they actually had an immune system challenge for whatever that was. Does that make sense?
It does.
So in other words, you can't, I mean, yes, you know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use antibiotics, although you should be very judicious, obviously. But it's not the old system where we say, all right, there's a bacteria that comes from the outside and just comes in. Okay, that's only part of the story. The other story is that our immune systems are weakened from eating too much garbage and having too many food intolerances, and that it allows the bugs to come in. So it's kind of like 50-50.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
All right, the person who talked about the bug theory was Pasteur, Louis Pasteur, but there was also Béchamp. I think his name was Béchamp. Béchamp. And Béchamp actually talked about the terrain. In other words, if you had healthy terrain, you could fight this stuff off. And the legend says that Louis Pasteur recanted his germ theory to Béchamp on his deathbed. I don't know if it's true or not. But I know that both sides, usually the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And so if you're healthy, you're going to fight disease better. Hey, imagine that.
That makes a lot of sense. What about heavy metal toxicity? How does that, because I've heard you say that if people have chronic sinus problems, sometimes that can be from heavy metals. Tell
Yeah,
me
I guess
more
I'm
about
thinking
that.
of ear infections. You don't see that as much with ear infections, but you will see it with chronic sinus infections. The person will have heavy metal toxins. If you think about it, where do they get the heavy metals from? The worst cases are usually from their teeth, and the teeth are right next to the sinuses and also the brain. That's why in people with brain dysfunctions, you'll almost always find mercury, lead, and aluminum. Okay? And so once you chelate those, usually brain dysfunctions get better too. But that's another video. But yeah, you'll see that. I've had people come in with chronic sinus problems, and all you have to do is chelate the heavy metals, and they get better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so there's hope for chronic sinus problems.
Yeah, I used to have them really bad. Remember that? I used to be on allergy medication all the time.
Yeah, well, I remember my nose was always stuffed up a lot when it was probably just from all the garbage I ate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff doesn't, it feeds the bugs that are living in your digestive tract. I mean, we used to do stool samples. We used to get them. I remember one day someone handed it in. We said, no, you have to mail it in. But we used to do stool sample analysis. And the people with some kind of chronic problem, you wouldn't believe what was living in their colon. It just scared me. And what I found was that you couldn't just target one thing, because if you had one thing, or usually people had 10 things, okay, what it means is that they actually had a systemic breakdown, and then you had to rebuild their health.
Wow, so it really, you got to eat right and get healthy, and that's what rebuilds your body so that then you can...
You got to eat right, get a proper nutrition response testing evaluation, supplement appropriately, and then the person gets better from most things. I would say 90% of cases get better. Sometimes it'll take a while because the person's been sick a long time. I mean, you just said chronic infection.
Yeah, or they keep eating sugar again over and over.
Yeah.
That happens.
That doesn't help.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Sheehan. If you like this video, give us a like and a share, and we'll see you on the next one.